the first thing is make it a warm email, right? So you have the cold calls and then you have the warm calls. So if you can somehow meet an alum, right, or a friend of the program to say, hey, John so and so recommended I reach out to you. Oh, geez, well, I have to respond to that, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. So any time you get out, that's simple sales cycle philosophy, right, for all you business majors out there. I think if you can do that you're ahead of the game. You're automatically going to get a second look. Even if you put that you have a 2.8 GPA, I'm still going to respond. But I think in terms of that email, what we see in that, if it's the first email, right, and let's say it's not a warm email, you're just reaching out because you care about the school. Express that. I really think this is a great school. My GPA is a 4.0. I'm third in my class. I think I could be a match. Would you be willing to talk to me? Here's a link, right? I may not look at the link, but I'm probably responding to that because it's efficient, it's clear, you've clearly shown your passion and drive for the school. I respond to that email. If it's the real long one with all the words, I know we're at Vassar, but I don't want to read all that. If it's all that and I have to take 20 minutes to analyze and address this email and worry about not contacting or responding to every point, that's exhausting. So first email, make it simple, real easy action items for me to respond on. And then the second email, maybe we can have a more soul searching conversation, if that makes sense.
Just like the videos that they hopefully attach to that email, I think the email needs to be brief, to the point, show that you have legitimate interest, and cover everything in the first email. If you have your transcripts readily available, attach them. Attach the video that we spent a few minutes talking about, and just make it easy. And just I'll touch on one thing and then I'll pass it on, because again, you could go on and on about this. I know for me, and I'm sure this has happened to everybody, and everybody has their stories. I'm a little OCD, so like when someone sends an email and there's a couple different fonts, right? That tells me that it's a copy, paste, cut, change the school, change the coach name. You guys all know Josh Raby, right, from Quincy. I've gotten multiple emails that say, "Dear Coach Raby." Well, like, I'm probably still going to look at the video, because if you're really, really good, I probably don't care, because the kid's intent was to email me. He just messed up. But it does kind of make it difficult to respond to that. Because I think the competitor news, that you kind of want to respond and pop them a little bit, and have some fun with it. But yeah, just if you're going to send an email and you're doing a good job of reaching out to all these different coaches, sometimes it feels a little fake when I see 14 different fonts, because it's been nothing but cut and paste. So that's maybe again, that answer, with the video and transcripts, you can go so many different ways with that. But I think that's just real advice. I think we're all humans. And when you see that, you feel a little slighted, like, that kid probably doesn't really want to be in our program. He just wants to play somewhere. Now, again, if he's really, really good, I don't care. But, if you're a fringe player and we're trying to make a decision on whether you're a person we should, get on the phone with, go see you play in the summer, the fall, the spring, and I see that, it kind of makes me a little less interested in doing that.
Every student athlete has an academic identity and a player identity. And I think, as concise and direct you can be about both those, aspects of your makeup, the better, right? So if you have an idea of what you want to major in, you state it out the gate, the grades make sense. I love GPAs that are higher than test scores. That's kind of your classic overachiever. And so we'll take both, right? I mean, I get scared of the high test score, low GPA. I don't think I'm alone in that. But just really being direct, even so far as just organizing your video to in line with your identity as a player. I remember we signed a player out of Southern California once when I was up in Chicago, and it was a hit-only video. I'm not even sure he put a position down. He was a left-handed banger. I mean, he could hit, and that was who he was. And so this is unique, and but I've always looked at even like DH as a position, because I just think your DH shouldn't never hit lower than 5, it's their only job. and you should have somebody really good in that role. And I think it's really hard to find somebody who wants to DH and not play the field, right? Like, it takes a lot to sacrifice that and wanting to do something. And so most of my career, I've had guys who, hey, this is their tool. And oftentimes when we recruit them, they're just very, very self-aware. You know, we had a student come to camp this summer, and he really, really put on a show to all fields and walked up to me and said, Coach, like, this is all I can do. You know, and like for us, like, it just like, hey, we can have one guy like that. You know, you can't have 6, but you can have 1. And so I don't mind having one guy like that. But like, again, like that Southern California player, he was a first-team All-American as a sophomore. And his video just showed him hitting from the left side on the field. It was 10, 12 swings, and that's it, you know. And so if you're a pitcher and you got a hammer, throw it the first pitch, you know, like, let's see it. And you're probably not going to turn that video off. And I think specifically, I like emails that are just addressed to us. They're not a mass email with a lot of different addresses on it. You know, obviously avoiding the mistakes. One of our assistant coaches, Bryce Davis, because my undergrad is in English, I mean, he gives me a really hard time, and he'll tell players that he's talked to in recruiting, he's like, hey, we really like you, you know, now you got to email Coach Benjamin, like, don't screw up that email, you know. And so, but it's, I think, you know, obviously having some feel there helps. And then just if there's anything specific to the school, you know, the identity and the makeup of the institution, you know, like, hey, this is specifically why I'm reaching out to Indiana Wesleyan. This is what you guys do well. It matches who I am and what I'm looking for. Those are always for us. Those always get a response, even if the player is not going to be an impact guy for us. I will respond to anybody who's really specific about the institution, because I want them here as a student, you know, if they're not going to play here. And so, but I think the specific, just being specific, concise, and just asking yourself before you send it, like, does this express my identity as a player and a student? If so, then you've probably been direct enough with it.